Okay, so I will explain you today how to have more breathiness and more continuity to your dance. So when we dance, always pay attention to what your body feels inside and observe yourself, your reactions, feel when you get too tight or maybe you get too relaxed. Always observe your own body condition, regardless who teach you what. You have to always, observe how your body reacts to certain movements, certain muscular tone. So when we dance, we have always two ways of moving. So number one way, it's muscular way. So we call it muscle. So move with the muscle. So if I demonstrate, if I stay like this, relax. If I lift my hip, see now I'm very high, I'm very muscular position. So body is, very stretched. There's a lot of muscular tone to lift that hip. And now from here, I start gradually release it to the neutral position. I still feel the tone. And now I move into the bone. So now I'm on the bone. So we can go very, very muscular, release our muscular tension into the bone. So we call it muscle, bone, muscle, bone. So let's say if I'm on the muscles here, so my muscles holding my body, carrying this hip high, I can with a lot of muscular power rotate this hip up here. Now from here I can release. And now without that much muscular power, of course there is a little bit compression here still, and I still try to keep the height. Whatever I create here on the muscles, I'm keeping that height here. I'm not trying to collapse completely. But when I'm released here, I can now rotate this hip. But that's more like a bone feeling, more relaxation, more freedom feeling. So now this is a muscle, bone, muscle. So I work really, really hard. Like here, release neutral and release into bone. So what is a bone? Bone, how to explain it? You just like imagine you just like bouncing on your hip like this. You don't need really much, like squeezing, just the freedom. Yeah, and just do this. Muscle, bone. So work, 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 release. Work, 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 release. Now there is one little detail about it. When you work, 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 you create this beautiful stretch, long posture. When you release, try to keep that tallness and height, not release everything, only releasing hip into your pocket. So now settling, which is this action, it's very important to understand that you can settle like with a lot of muscles and really, really compress, or you can settle as a release. Both are settled, but the quality of it is very, very different. Okay, so we understand there is a muscular power, muscles. So I'll do in the side position, muscle, and then we release like exhale into the bone. Muscle, bone. Work, release. And you like feeling like you're breathing out your shoulder into the hip, into the floor. And then you, of course, follow with the rotation. Muscle, bone. Muscle, bone. Work like inhale, exhale. Muscle, bone. Muscle, bone. So now how apply this information, let's say if we want to do side to side Cuban rock and rumba. So go muscle, release into bone, 2. Muscle, release into bone, 3. Muscle, 4. 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and so if you do timing of rumba 2 3 4 1 on 2 3 it's going to be more fast action, more it's going to be more you're going to dance on the bone. So this is a bone. More action you have time, you're going to do muscle, 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 lift hip. So for example here you have a 2 is more bone action, 3 4 1 very muscular, release, 2 3 4 1. The same as in any type of walk. Let's say if I'm on the rumba walk or cha-cha walk, I'm here very, very muscular, very stretched here. But here I have to start releasing, exhaling this hip without losing the tallness into this pendulum position. Bone, muscle, release bone, muscle, bone. The same backward, muscular, so all the muscle will release into bone, muscle, bone. So number we on the muscles, on end we into the bone. So it's more relaxed position. Muscle, bone. So then your movements start having a breathing about them. Work, release, work, release, work, release. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. A lot of muscle, releasing. And then it feels pleasant and it's very musical, has a musical flow. So you have to practice like this. Now, cha-cha is exactly the same, but in cha-cha, because it's faster, you're going to have more bone actions. For example, if I go cha-cha side, bone, bone, bone. Here, 2. So it's more bone. You dance more on the bones. Cha, cha, cha. Of course, there is still upper body muscularity, but the hip should really drop into the leg. 3. Then you will have, even on the fast music, you will have a nice hip actions. Cha, cha, cha. And let's do an example of the Cuban rock and cha-cha. Like I see many people, my students as well, they hold it too much on the muscles and then there is no hip actions at all. So what we should do, okay, maybe we start on the muscle, but we have to release into bone, especially here when the leg crossing. It's very bone action. So you have this beautiful curve. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And if you want to do this, it's purely your bones moving the hip. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So you can have a muscular movement or bone movement. And the both quality is going from muscle releasing into bone.